Hey gang, Devall here with an all-new episode of Devall's Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. I'm your host, Devall. Welcome back to the show, though. I got some great stuff for you to show off. And of course, the show is always about the great stuff that I find in my journeys through flea markets, antique stores, garage sales, auctions, and eBay, and so much more. So I got some awesome stuff for you. So let's start it out with... What should I show you? I know. Let's start out with an awesome lunchbox. Let's check that out. Now, Carrie and I have been in some antique stores over the last year or three, and we see this lunchbox all the time, and it's way too much money. I've seen it go for hundreds of dollars. Well, not hundreds of dollars, like $800. Sometimes a little bit less, but not something affordable that I really wanted to spend money on. And half the time the shape wasn't that great. But at the sale in Salisbury, I'm going back to Salisbury, Illinois, which again, a lot of this stuff came from Salisbury. At the sale in Salisbury, I found this awesome Muppet Show lunchbox, Jim Henson's Muppet lunchbox, an old thermos metal lunchbox. In gorgeous shape. It's got a little bit of scuffing on the sides, but really no major rusting. No thermos. I mean, it's got a little rusting inside, but no thermos. Luckily, though, the thermos for this lunchbox is pretty easy to find. The lunchbox itself to find in good condition is kind of hard because it does feature some great images of Jim Henson's Muppets all the way around the thing, all the way around the metal lunchbox. This is great, and I love this lunchbox, and I've loved it ever since the first time I saw it. So if you're looking for lunchboxes and you happen across a Muppets lunchbox like this, I suggest buying it. I paid a little more than I like to pay. I paid 17 bucks for this in this shape. I thought it was a good deal, so I jumped at it, and I do not regret it one little bit. This lunchbox is spectacular. Let's move on. I got a couple of really cool kids books and a couple of records actually that are really neat. The first one I'm going to show you is Golden Books in the 80s. God, I think these are both 83. Made these very cool press out playbooks, and basically they were these large books that had all these press out pieces that you could press out, and you fold the cardboard pieces together and you make a little play set in a little town. The first one I found was Sesame Street Going for a Ride, and I found this at the most recent Kane County Toy Show in just complete condition. Nothing has ever been punched out of this book, and it is friggin' neat. I remember these books, and I remember having so much fun punching them out and creating the cars, and you kind of had to like, you had to tape them together or glue them together, and of course the back folded out, so you had a city street or a farm street. This is very neat and something you don't see a lot of anymore complete. These are very hard to find in this condition. And this guy just had like a small stack of this one and the next one I'm going to show you, which I think he won $3 for the both of them. I think I paid. So you can't pass those kind of deals up when you see something like this. Even if you don't collect this, this is such an odd, unique item that you're like, why wouldn't I have that in my collection? Why don't I have that in my collection? I need to have that in my collection. Very cool. And of course, I love Sesame Street and Muppets, so let's check out the next one of these. Next one I found is actually a Walt Disney one, and it's Minnie and Minnie Out West. And this is just another cute, beautiful punch-out book. Graphics are gorgeous, characters are gorgeous, and again, another book where nothing at all has been punched out of this book. And again, something you just couldn't pass up. And of course, the back on this one creates either a, you've either got a little rodeo scene, or you've got a little end scene that you can create. And there were lots of great parts to this book, lots of great 3D signs and stuff that opened, and again, just I couldn't pass it up. I don't own any of these. I own a big Transformer one like this, but I've never seen these since I was a child, and it was something that I absolutely had to have. So these are spectacular. If you find these, pick them up because they are well worth it. Let's check out these records. These first two are actually from 1960, and they're from Disneyland Records. The first one is this very cool. They were these series of Magic Mirror records. The first one is Bambi, and this is in beautiful shape. And basically, what these were you opened them up, and they had the record with the storybook and all the music on them, and then of course the actual storybook that had some original artwork as well as stills from the film. And these are kind of hard to find complete. Usually you'll find them, the pages are missing, they've been ripped out, they've been written on. The record in here is in gorgeous shape, no scratches, no scuffs. It looks like it was rarely ever used. And this overall, this package is in just beautiful shape. There's really no scuffing, no ripping, no tearing. So this is the story, the songs, the music, plus the 11 pages of illustrations on the film and stills from the film. So this is awesome, and I found this at a Animal Protection League sale in a box of records for like $1. And out of all of them, I found these three were the best shaped ones. So these were the three I bought. So Bambi, very cool. Let's check out the next one. Next one I've got is the very classic fairy tale Cinderella. And again, just like Bambi, Cinderella is the same idea, same shape. 11-page storybook, which the storybook, the last page had a little bend in it, but I kind of fixed it. But again, beautiful storybook, beautiful artwork, magic mirror. So you kind of open it up and it shows you this beautiful title page for the story of Cinderella. And again, the record for this thing, gorgeous. No scratching that I can tell. Just beautiful. And it's very hard to find these in this type of condition, in this shape, for less than like 20 bucks a piece. And I paid $0.25 or 50 cents. I think I said 50 cents earlier. I can't remember. I know they were really cheap, and that's why I jumped at them. So Cinderella, very cool. Let's check out this last one. The last one's in a little bit of a rougher shape than Cinderella, but overall still really good shape, and that is Lady and the Tramp. And Lady and the Tramp, of course, is the classic tale. It's not a magic mirror, they kind of changed it after that, but it's still a storybook. It's still an 11-page storybook with some great images from the film. Actually, I think everything in here is from the film on this one, except for this front page, which is an original illustration in here. Beautiful though. You know, basically side 1 and side 2 you have all the songs, the story, everything about Lady and the Tramp. And this one, actually, the other ones didn't have the sleeve. This one actually had the record sleeve. And again, the record, gorgeous condition, just beautiful condition. For those of you who don't know what a record is what we listened to before those of you came along with access to MP3s or CDs or tapes. We had records and 8 tracks when I was young. I like them. But these, again, are very hard to find in any kind of good condition, just because they were so torn up, and anything from the 60s, from that late period, tough to find. But these were a must-have. So, let's move on and check out some action figures. I got some loose figures, and the first one up I want to show you. I don't actually have his accessories, but I actually got him for free, and I couldn't pass him up for free. Because let's be honest, when somebody says you can have it, I'll be like, thanks, appreciate it. It is this awesome little E.T. figure from the 80s, who actually had some articulation kind of ahead of its time. He's got kind of this nice shoulder movement. He's got elbow movement. His legs don't move, but his head. His head raises kind of cute. I don't really have any E.T. stuff, but when I was like, oh, E.T., he's like, yeah, you can have it. I was like, okay, thanks. And I took him home, but I think this E.T. came with like a speak and spell and some other accessory, I don't remember what it was, that he could hold His fingers kind of gotten, somebody chewed on it a little bit, but not too terribly. But something fun, just a fun little loose figure to add to my shelf of figures, just because I didn't have it, and for free, what are you gonna do, right? I'm not gonna pass that up. Let's move on. I found some vintage Kenner Ghostbusters. They were in a bag together. There were a couple proton packs in there, and the proton packs are broke, but they're in decent shape. But I found, first things I found, I want to say this is Fright Scream's Egon, because you wound him up. I don't know if he'll actually stay, because I think he's broke. Oh, winding him the wrong way. Because you would wind him up, and then you would put the ghost in there, and he would swing, and the ghost would scream. So, fun figure. I found one of the series of Winston, and I don't remember what series this Winston came from, but I remember he has a backpack that turns into like a little buzzsaw he can ride, because I had this Winston, and he didn't have his little buzzsaw, but why not? He was in the bag. He's going to come with me. Very cool. Last but not least is 3 of the 4 original Real Ghostbusters figures that came out in that first wave. The first one I found was Egon. So Egon was in that bag. And Egon's in pretty nice condition. He's a little weird to touch. He's a little sticky, so I'll have to clean him up, I imagine. But nice little Egon figure. Next one I found was Peter. Of course, everybody wants Peter. Everybody needs Peter. Don't read into that, people. That sounds, get your minds out of the gutter right now. Get them out right now. Peter Venkman. But Peter Venkman is a must-have for any Ghostbusters collector, because let's face it, he's the leader, and you can't have Ghostbusters without Peter Venkman. And then I found none other than Ray Stans. And this Ray Stans, actually there were a couple of Ray Stans in that bag, and this one actually is the best out of the 2, because the other one has a lot of like yellowing through here, so it kind of looks disgusting, but this one was in really nice shape and really good. I mean, all of them all together, the paint's really good on them, the paint's really crisp. And then to top it off, I found, of course, one proton pack where the beam is broke, but it has the handle, so you can still spin it, even though the beam isn't as long as it should be. I think the green one goes to Peter Venkman, if I remember correctly. And then I found the gold proton pack with the handles broke. But the beam isn't intact, so unfortunately trying to find these proton packs completely intact is kind of rough. And I think the orange one went to Ray Stans, and I can't remember because I haven't really looked up whose backpack went to who, but loose vintage Real Ghostbusters figures. Awesome find. I'll show you these 2 items that are boxed that I absolutely love. This one I've been hunting for a while. I've been trying to collect a number of the old Power Lord series from Revell. And I found a lot of items. One of the things that had escaped me was the Power Ship. And I found the Power Ship recently in a box. The box has got a little bit of folding on the flap. But the bubble's kind of messed up, but the back of it's still in beautiful condition. The Power Ship inside is still in great condition. For those of you wondering, this is going to get open and it's going to get displayed, and I'm going to keep the box because the box is beautiful. But yes, I am going to open this. I opened my Trigor that I got that was in a box, mostly because he was broken. I had to fix him anyway, but I kept that box. And of course, I've got a Shea, Queen of Power, that eventually is going to get opened. She's on a beat-up card. So really all I'm missing out of this first wave is Griptog and Psydot, who were 2 of the characters, and Vulcan Rock, which I don't know if I'll ever get Vulcan Rock because that's a ridiculously expensive playset. But Power Ship was a must-have, and I found got a good deal on it. I think I paid $25 for it. So great deal in my mind, and I'm happy to have it. Let's check out this last item before we hit board games. This item is kind of an oddity. It's a licensed item, and it's not really an action figure. It's from a company called Ilco, who licensed the GoBots brand from Tonka, but they made this very cool, kind of preschooly GoBots turnover racer. And I saw it and couldn't pass it up because it's such an odd item. And the fact that it was, it's never been used, everything's still in plastic, everything's still in its cardboard inserts inside. Actually, I can show you here. Possibly. Bear with me here, people. I opened this the other day, dang it. I know it opens. Apparently Devall can't win against a box. That's sad, right? Ah, there we go. So the front of the box, other than the sides, looks like there was tape and somebody pulled the tape off. But the front of the box is really nice condition. And then, like I said, everything inside of here for the turnaround eraser, the turnover eraser, I'm sorry, is still in its package. It's still crisp, just like the day it was packaged in the 80s. And again, this is such an oddity that I just couldn't, you just couldn't pass up. And they actually had different characters that stood up. You could get Psykill. This one has Fightor in it, and of course Psykill. There is a little Psykill racer that rolls around. The GoBot Command Center is a cardboard piece. Yeah, I mean, just it's such an odd, neat little item that I couldn't pass up, and I think I paid. Again, it was one of those items where nobody bid on, and I debated, and finally was like, I'm gonna have to buy that. And I think I paid $10 for this, for such an odd item. One of these days I'll put it together and play with it, because it just looks like fun. I mean, yeah, it's just a little preschool item, but it just looks hysterically cute and awesome. So we'll see. Maybe someday there'll be a review on it on ToyWorldOrder.com. You never know. But great odd item. And if you see this and you can get it for a decent price, I would suggest buying it, because it's just such an oddity, and it's a great conversation starter. People will be like, what is that? And you'd be like, that's an awesome item. So cool stuff. Let's check out 2 board games here, and we'll end this episode up right just like we always do. Two games I got here. One of them is a Whitman game, and I want to say it's 75. I think it's missing a piece together, but it's horror related, which is very cool. And a lot of times horror related stuff is very, very hard to track down and find. This one though is the Creature Castle game, and Creature Castle was a fun, neat little idea for a game. It's kind of a card turn-based game with this big playmat, the game sheet that folds out. Kind of was the norm for back then. Instead of making game boards, they printed these big fold-out poster sheets, kind of, and that was your game board. This is a fun game. I paid $4 for it, and I think it's missing a piece. I think it's missing one of the 4 playing pieces. So, not that I'm ever going to play 4 players on this together, but for $4, you couldn't pass it up. Awesome game. Last one. Back in the heyday of that new toy smell at Pop Culture Network, back when we were actively doing the show, one of the Halloween episodes, actually I think the first Halloween episode, I did a review on the Mad Scientist Monster Play Lab from Mattel, which was a great item I had as a kid and was hard to find, and I stumbled across one that was complete in beautiful shape. Everything was still in there, everything was still good. Something I found in Salisbury, Illinois, and I got it for $10, was a board game that I didn't actually know existed for that brand, and that is the Mad Scientist Monster Lab Escape board game. And this is one of those fun, cool games that came with a bunch of monster flesh and monster smashers and molds. You could actually mold your monster, and then you would smash them. And basically, the monster flesh compound was just Play-Doh. That's really all it was Play-Doh. But just a fun game based on the Mad Scientist property that Mattel launched in the 80s, and it didn't go over extremely well, but they made a lot of stuff for Mad Scientist. This is cool, and I'm very happy to have this, because like I said, I've got the Monster Lab playset, I've got the Alien Dissection playset, I've got this board game, so I'm very happy, because this was something I didn't even know existed. I never thought to look to see if they made a board game, and lo and behold, Mattel made a board game. So I'll have to buy some new Play-Doh to kind of, make up for the monster flesh that is crunchy, basically, very crunchy. And of course, it had living ice, and I don't know, the living ice actually is still, well, it's still rubbery. Let's put it that way. But I don't think anything in this game really has ever been used. I mean, it's all still in bags, and yeah. Kind of neat. Again, did not know this game existed, so very happy. So there you go, gang. That brings us to the end of another episode of Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. Make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you haven't already, go go back to the main page for Toy World Order and hit subscribe. That would be awesome. If you're watching it on Toy World Order, just go to www.youtube.com/ToyWorldOrder and hit subscribe. That helps us out, and that allows us to continue to bring you these awesome episodes that everybody loves. Again, I want to thank the fans, because without you fans, we wouldn't be able to do episodes or shows or reviews or anything like we do on ToyWorldOrder.com. So thank you very much, and keep watching, keep supporting us. And there you go, gang. And until next time, keep digging, because quite frankly, you never know what you'll find. Take care, guys.